This is your employee screen quick overview. Of course, you can set up TPS so all of your employees can benefit from the system, or you can keep it limited to a few. But did you know TPS gives you the opportunity to do even more than that? The employee screen is where you manage who will be using TPS. It's where you keep track of their position and salary and even manage their login info. It's where you'll establish the rates you'll charge a client when this employee does work for them. This is where you set the controls. You decide what areas of TPS they'll be able to access, and can even keep track of the different courses and classes they're taking as they grow on their career path. So let's take a look at TPS and get started with your employee screen quick overview. In TPS, your employee screen is set up like this. Your first column over here is the employee code. This is just a quick way for you to identify employees throughout TPS. Most reports will show this code. Then of course we have the employee's name, their type or their position really, whether or not they are an active user, and whether or not they are actually logged in to TPS right now. Our icons up top, the first one allows us to add an employee. Now here's a quick tip about adding an employee. If you have no extra licenses or seats available right now, and you're replacing one of your old employees with a new one, it's always best to first deactivate the person who left or is being replaced. That way that seat is available for the new employee. If you've done that, then when you add the new employee, they can be activated without TPS help. If you do not have any new seats, when you click on the Add New Employee, you will be able to add an employee to this screen, but they will not be able to be made an active user until you contact TPS to purchase an additional license. Then TPS will provide you with a code that will activate that employee. So that aside, when you click on the new user icon, it starts you on the process of creating a new employee. You need to create a login name for them, an employee code, which should probably be consistent with what you have over here. So if you're using your employee's initials, you should continue on with that, or basically just be consistent with what you're already using. Then you need to enter the first and last name. After that, you'll need to fill out this information over here, which we'll get to a little bit later. Delete an employee will allow you to delete an employee, but remember there are probably transactions tied to this employee name and reports and all that. TPS will not let you delete an employee if there are transactions tied to this employee in the current fiscal year. If you're allowed to delete, TPS is going to ask you to transfer the historical transactions to another employee. It will look something like this. The employee has WIP or history transactions. You have to attach them to another employee. Continue. You'd say yes, and then you would choose the employee that it's going to attach to. And then Harley would disappear, and that employee's name would now be tied to all of those transactions in history. Change employee is used for admin personnel. This button allows you to quickly and easily use TPS as another employee for time entry purposes only. To use it, you simply click on the person's name. I'll choose Harley. Then you click on the Change Employee button, and it will say something along the lines of what I see up here, Alex Childs as Harley Hansen. So I'm logged in as Alex. It's letting me know that I'm Alex, but I'm working as Harley Hansen right now. So then I could go into time entry. Let's say that Harley didn't come into work today. He was sick. So I need to go in there and put in the non-chargeable hours for being sick, using a sick day, however you have that set up. You can do that, but remember you have to come back and change back to your employee. So if I wanted to change back to Alex, I click back on my name, do it again, and you can see now it's just saying Alex Childs. I'm no longer acting as Harley Hansen. Change number of active users. You would use this if you need to purchase a new license. TPS will provide you with this code to increase your licenses. These last two icons here are not for the on-premise version. It's for TPS Mobile. So to create a report to activate users is for TPS Mobile. This is the report you would get to provide TPS with the employee key to activate users. So when you click on it, you'd get something along the lines of this, and this is the employee key that you would need to give to TPS to activate users. Then this other button here, this is Import Activation Key. This is where you put the code that TPS will be giving you. Over here on the right is where you set up everything for your employees. With a new employee, the first three tabs are the most important. General, of course, is where you put all of their general information. The Rates tab ties in with the work codes. I mentioned in the work codes video that each employee would have their rate set up. This is where you do that. So you can decide how much this employee charges for each rate level. So if you wanted level 1 in your work codes to be the easier jobs, how much will a client be charged when this employee works on a level 1 assignment? Level 2, level 3, and so on. Rights is important because this establishes what employees can and can't view and edit in TPS. If you want your employees to handle the billing for your clients, but you haven't set their permission for that, they won't even have the billing icon available to click on. So the rights are very important because if they're not set up correctly, the person won't be able to do their job in TPS. Each tab over here will have its own video to explain what it's for, so please check back here as we'll be uploading and updating videos as we create them. The Reload Employees button, if someone else is working in TPS and adding or changing employee information, reloading will make sure that you have all the updated information, so it's kind of like a refresh button. And then, of course, the binoculars, as usual, works in conjunction with the search field. So if I had a really long list of employees and I wanted to find a specific one, I could type in the name here and then hit the binoculars and it would find that for me. So if I type in William here, hit the binoculars, it highlights William for me. And that about covers it for the employee overview. Again, make sure you come back and check out the smaller detailed videos as we continue to upload them.